Hello guys, and welcome back to Watch Talk Wednesday Season 2, because we're in the new year, episode Dose. Now, today we have 4 different stories for all of you. So I have my handy dandy little engine that could down here, and so if you see me looking down, hopefully I can edit those parts out, but that's what I'm looking at. So it's my little teleprompter because I'm not very professional. I don't have an actual teleprompter. So basically the first article is introducing the Boston and STEWILL Tour, the value-driven Swiss-made watch now on Kickstarter. Now, the reason that I wanted to show you guys this piece, usually I don't actually talk about a lot of Kickstarter brands. As you guys know, if you've been on Kickstarter and you've just been looking at watches, a lot of them can be considered not very high quality watches, and I wanted to let you guys know that that is not the case with this brand. And this is a mechanical watch that they are actually offering to Kickstarter contributors for just over $440 US right now. And I think it's pretty cool. You guys may or may not like the design, but basically it's a 3-hand movement with a second subdial. Now let's take a look at the pictures that I just mentioned. As you guys can see here, or maybe you can't see, basically they have a really interesting design that's kind of like racing themed, I would say. The strap with the corrugated holes does give it kind of a racing vibe. So does the 5-minute increments at every hour position. And then if you look, the second subdial is actually shaped kind of like an archway, and supposedly that's supposed to mimic the design of some car. If you would like to find out more about this watch or anything that I talk about in today's video, as always, there will be links to these articles down below. I do sometimes mess up the facts with these videos, and sometimes I just don't get to everything because of time, so I appreciate your understanding. Definitely go check out these links if you would like to see more. Alright, so we are going to hop right on in to the next picks. This is actually the Worn and Wound team. All of their editors picked their favorite watches from SIHH this year. You know, I wish I could have gone, but I'm not playing at that level yet, so maybe next year. But basically, there's a whole lot of detail in this article detailing the different histories of each watch, but honestly, I just kind of want to scroll through it and show you guys the different watches, what I like about them, what I don't like about them. You guys hopefully are here because you want to hear my opinion, or maybe you just want to see pretty watches, but you are going to see the pretty watches. I'm not going to talk about them a whole lot. So up first is the Resence Type 1 Squared. I think these watches are fairly cool. Their little dial there, you can see, I guess, the minute marker there. I think all of the dials actually rotate around the minute track as this watch moves, and I think that that is a incredible little complication, or some incredible movement technology that these watches offer. Now, obviously, a technology like this is going to be pretty expensive, but I do think that it is something to look for, and I do think that it is pretty cool, especially when you're wearing one of these things on your wrist. Now, up next, we have some new APs. These are some royal oaks with frosted gold. If you look really closely at the picture, and when I edit this video, I'm probably gonna just have to put in some really up-close pictures on these watches. This is not like regular steel and rose gold you're seeing here. This is like frosted gold, so basically they use a diamond tool and then they cut like into the metal, and then I guess they fill in those cuts with some gold, and I think that it looks pretty cool. It also makes all of these watches completely individual. No watch made this way will be the same as another, which is also pretty cool, but they will be incredibly expensive. These are a piece. So up next we have a watch by H. Moser, or hopefully I didn't butcher the pronunciation. I think from now on I'm just not gonna like say anything about pronunciation. I'm just gonna expect you guys to like to know that I can't pronunciate anything. But this is the Swiss Mad watch. I think this brand actually is the brand that took a step against the Swiss-made label. They looked at what a lot of other brands were doing in their manufacturing processes. You know, it's kind of a dirty secret of the Swiss watch world that a lot of their parts actually come from Asia, and then they manufacture them just enough to pass the Swiss-made regulation. And H. Moser basically is laughing at the certification. That's just my take. I think H. Moser kind of wants to stick it to the watch community, and I think they want to challenge other manufacturers in the community to make better pieces, which I'm all for. So let's take a look at this watch. It has, I guess, part of a Swiss cheese wheel inside of it, or it's supposed to look like a Swiss cheese wheel, and you can see the back of it here. It looks very beautiful. The movement, the cheese wheel part of it kind of looks bad. I wouldn't buy this for $1 million, even if I had $1 million. Could buy so many watches. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. We have a Lange & Son Zeitwerk Decimal Strike. Basically, the cool thing about this watch is that it has a decimal readout, so the hour and then the minute can be read out, but also it has kind of like this chiming system. It has two different tones for the hour and the 10-minute marks. So if you want to know what time it is without looking at your watch, you press a button, and then it'll chime out the hours in a low tone, and then it'll chime out the minutes in a higher tone. And I think this watch is about $38,000 if my memory is serving me from reading this article. So it's not exactly cheap, but it is a beauty, and it is a piece of fine watchmaking. All right, up next we have the Drive de Cartier Extra Flat. Basically, this is a Cartier with a little bit of a differently shaped case, and they are very flat. As you guys know, or maybe you don't know, I'm not a big fan of Cartier. I'm not a huge fan of the way that they're shaped. You know, for me it's either like circular or square. But in terms of luxury brands, I feel like Cartier is probably the least expensive, so I guess they can kind of get away with it. Honestly, I'm not too fond of the brand. Alright, so this next one was picked by Zach Weiss, and I think him and I are like brothers from another mother, because he picked out the, oh god, Laurent Ferré Gallet Micro Rotor Montre École. Wow. That is a very long name. Basically, this watch is also super expensive, but the picture that I should be showing you guys, it just looks freaking amazing. I don't really know what else to say. It looks very sophisticated, very refined. I'm not entirely sure if it justifies the, I think this one is also in the $30,000 to $40,000 range. I'm not sure if it justifies that type of price tag. Maybe I just don't understand what's going on with luxury watches, because these pricing ranges seem completely out of the water to me. Yeah, that wraps up the top picks from SIHH according to Worn and Wound. But I just wanted to share those watches with you and get your guys' feedback. What do you think? Do you disagree with any of my comments? Definitely let me know in the comment section below. But moving on, we're on to our third article, and it's also the article featured back here because the picture on this article just completely drew my attention. This is the Longines Flagship Heritage 60th Anniversary. This Longines Heritage line is really the only line from Longines that I actually really like and really appreciate, and honestly I feel like they are competitively priced. We all know Longines is kind of the lower to mid tier. I do think they offer a lot of value, but I also feel like a lot of their watches are kind of ugly. It pains me when brands do things to their watches and kind of have a uniform design, but that design is bad. Tissot, at the end of all of their secondhands, or not all of them, but a large majority of them, have this T built into the secondhand, and I hate it. I hate it so much. If the Tissot has a little T on the end of the secondhand, I won't buy it. And the one Tissot that I have doesn't have that stupid branding. So long story long, I really appreciate what Longines is doing with this flagship series because they don't have any stupid design or branding elements that throw the watch off. As you guys can see by the picture behind me, and I'll blow it up and give you a nice big picture of it. The watch looks freaking amazing. Freaking amazing. Also, I wish that my photography skills were as good as whoever took this picture. Maybe it was Jack Foster, the guy who wrote this article about this watch. Maybe it wasn't. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks amazing. Personally, I like it in the rose gold. I'm sure that it's going to cost a fortune in rose gold. It's also 38.5 millimeters, which is pretty small, probably perfect for my small wrists. I'm wearing the Seiko SKX 173 today. It was loaned to me by one of my viewers, Ray. If you're watching this, shout out to you. Longines, if you're watching, send me a watch. Your design was not completely idiotic with this one. Yeah, they're definitely gonna reach out with that. Anyway, we are back to the last article for Watch Talk Wednesday. I know you guys are super sad to hear that, but basically the last article is about Zenith. When we talked, I think in our last Watch Talk Wednesday, we were actually talking about their new CEO. And I guess the first thing that he's done as CEO, he has kind of re-updated the designs of the Zenith El Primero. This, of course, is the watch that ticks at 10 times per second. It has a nice little chronograph here, and basically the article basically is covering the return of the Panda dials, or the Panda colored editions of the Zenith El Primero, and I will show you guys a picture right now. Personally, I don't know if I like this Panda design, but you know, this watch probably wasn't designed for me. A lot of people in the watch community do like these Panda style dials. If you're not familiar, Panda is just white and black. But I do really love these red tipped secondhands on the Zenith. And one last thing I have to show you before I go, this back of this watch is just astounding. I love Zenith and all of the attention to detail that they do with their movements. I think in terms of the level of finishing on their movements, they offer something beyond their price range. I think they're extremely competitive in the category, and I would love Zenith to really hit a home run with this one so they can reinvest in their brand and hopefully make some more killer watches, because I want one. But basically that wraps up our Watch Talk Wednesday for the week. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this. I am working on some very big reviews, some very big comparisons, big stuff coming to the channel. Did I mention it was big? No, but seriously guys, thanks for watching. It means the world to me. I will see you all later. Bye.